Okay. My question was, can racism from past situations predict how African Americans handle future situations? And I said yes. This is out of order. Yes, racism from past situations or events can greatly impact how African Americans handle future situations because of traumatic racially motivated acts practiced on African Americans in the 60s. African Americans now are still traumatized. So racial redlining. Acts like racial redlining in the 60s were unbelievably common. And redlining is the act of denying or restricting housing based on skin color or race. In the past, African Americans were silent, and they really didn't act out on redlining. They just accepted it because there was nothing they could do. But laws were set up now to prohibit redlining, and they usually, like they what's it called? Dang. The laws, the laws make sure that you're not discriminated against if you have disabilities or something. But racial redlining led to poverty, so yeah. Poverty was when the damn, it's kind of hard. So yeah, okay. Gerrymandering in the 60s was very common. Like they would usually, Caucasians would usually buy houses in struggling neighborhoods, like predominantly people of color neighborhoods, and they would upgrade the houses like they were renovated. And so everybody else's houses would skyrocket, like their mortgages and their rents, and that would lead to poverty and everybody be in the streets or homeless or in housing projects. Stereotyping. So this led to stereotyping eventually, because then everybody would say that African Americans were ghetto and they're poor and they're lazy. And then African Americans started using that for themselves. They would assert it more in their households instead of defending themselves. So they would you hear African Americans say, "Oh yeah, we're lazy," something like that, and we're ghetto, all of this. Police brutality. Police brutality in the 60s was horrible. They would use hoses, dogs, and guns, and they would scare people into submission and silence. Even though there was things like the freedom riders and stuff that really wouldn't affect them. And yeah, but now in organizations like Black Lives Matter, the movement, they speak out against police brutality, like when Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown got shot. So yeah. And I connected my source to the stimulus package with the Muslim women because Black women were fetishized after the 60s and after segregation, all of that, just like how Muslim women were fetishized after 9/11. And yeah, my solution isn't really a solution, it's a prediction. And I predict that African Americans will speak out more against discrimination and racism in the future, just like how they have now from the 60s and Jim Crow. Okay,
that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, give me a second. Okay. All right, so let me ask you a couple questions. How did you select the strategies you used to gather information or conduct research, and were those strategies effective? So how did you find your sources?
I just use Google. I would type in my question. I would type my question, and I would break it down so it makes sense. And most of mine were news articles and journals. So it helped my PowerPoint because they had lots of facts about what happened in the 60s versus now, and yeah.
Okay, and then what advice would you have for other researchers who would research on this topic?
I would say, since the question is so general and broad, I like to focus in on certain points. Like I broke mine into racial redlining and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very broad topic.
Okay, thank you.